So you want to level really quickly and really efficiently in Lost Ark. Well, me too. That's why I used the Lost Ark beta to learn exactly what mistakes to avoid and what I should be doing at launch. We thought that would make for a useful video to share with you guys, so welcome to Rage Gaming. My name is Hollow, and this is how you smash out level 50 as fast as possible. The number one thing you'll have heard if you've looked at a video on this topic or read a post or asked in general chat in game, how do I level fast in Lost Ark? People will tell you this: just do main quests. And it's not entirely wrong, but it is wrong. If you were to just do main quests and ignore everything else all the way to 50, you'd actually find yourself at level 49 with a main quest that now requires you to be 50 before you can actually complete it. Why actually race to 50 though? In this beta, and I imagine at launch, max level is actually 55. Well, the reason you want to reach level 50 as soon as possible is to actually unlock your endgame dailies. Level 50 to 51 is going to take way more time than anything you've done before it. We all just want to get to 50 to actually unlock the endgame, to get those dailies ticking over as soon as possible. After that, you can go back and do your adventure quest to actually unlock everything, complete your awakening, sort out your stronghold, and so on. If you do not care about being a few days behind the players who, you know, they're going to no life play the game from start to finish, then don't worry about it. Take your time and enjoy yourself. But if you do want to be one of those players, or you just want to level really quickly, here's what you do. Firstly, obviously, skip the prologue. It'll save you like half an hour. Get right into the leveling, which is main story quests from level 1 to around level 35. These provide the absolute peak of XP in comparison to the time spent on anything else. You can tell it's a main quest by the orange arrow icon, or it says main quest in your log. Completely ignore all side quests. Every single one. Ignore the red event quests. Ignore adventure quests. You don't care about those except one. Generally, these are not worth the time or XP compared to, say, story quests because they're just way slower and worth way less. However, there is one adventure quest you should not ignore and you should do, and that's the pet quest. It's right there in your first town. There's a purple quest that teaches you about pets. Quickly crank that out because pets auto loot for you, which is obviously really useful. So you quickly unlock that pet, summon it, forget about it, get back to questing. Now, on your journey to get to roughly 35, you're going to see a lot of different types of quests. We have side quests, which provide a small chunk of XP and some currency. Adventure quests, which you'll see as purple exclamation marks, which are permanent feature unlocks, like those pets, for example. Adventure quests are very important, but do take a lot longer than, say, even a side quest, and they're not really worth the XP. So it's completely fine to ignore these and come back at max level after doing your endgame dailies, since you will need to do them eventually anyway. Some of these quests are pretty important. They'll provide skill points. They might appear as a gold exclamation mark with a chain behind it. These are pretty vital to improving your character's strength, obviously, so yeah, go do them, but come back after you hit 50 to do them. Red event quests are the ones that pop up when you just are in that area. They're super simple and easy, having you kill like 6 guys in that area that you're already in. Just like side quests, they're worth almost no XP, but they take such a short amount of time that they're worth considering. But once again, you can completely ignore them and just do main quests. Alright, so you've ignored everything and you've main quested your way all the way to about 35 or 36 or 37. Basically the point that you've unlocked your ship. At this stage, you're beginning your world exploration journey. You should have a main quest now that's wanting you to gather 7 arcs, and no more main quests to follow other than that vague big picture goal. This is where you swap to world quests, which have that blue globe visual. These are worth more than any side quests, and occasionally are worth insane amounts of XP. These should then become your main focus while you can't do those main story quests anymore. From here, this is what you do to level 50 in endgame. You just follow your world quests constantly, ignoring everything else like before. That is, of course, until you're level 49, where you'll get stuck. If you were to do that, you'd have limited options on what to do to get XP now, and it's definitely going to be a lot slower than before. To avoid this happening to you, you just do some side quests and event quests that perfectly line up with whatever you're doing with your world quests from around level 46 or 47. We only care about side or event quests that are on top of or right next to what we're already doing, so you can be doing both at the same time. They're still only going to give you tiny chunks of XP, but at least you're doubling them up effectively. The goal behind this is so when you finally reach the island of Vern, you're about level 49 already. The Vern quest will then lead you to 50 just before you hit that wall of being below 50 when you actually need to be 50. The reason we're going to wait until about level 47 to do any side stuff is because, of course, they're worth so little XP. They're not worth your time. So you'd actually rather reach the wall than do more side quests than you need to. I waited until level 47 to do any, and I was easily able to make that 50 mark just over leveling it. For some basic questing tips then, use your dash on cooldown when moving around on foot. It's slightly faster than walking normally, and it also works while you're mounted too, so spam your spacebar. On every quest, Read the objective. If it says kill 10 mobs, go kill those 10 mobs and move on out of there. If it says go to this place and use a thing, completely ignore everything else. Don't grind mobs. Run straight to that thing and do it. Basically, just don't waste your time on anything you don't need to be doing, and make sure you're never ever dying. Chug your health potions. They drown you in them and they're there to be used. But make sure you're using the regen ones, not the health percent ones. The regen ones can be used anywhere, so that's great, while the instant percent health potions are the only ones you can use in a raid, so you ideally want to save those. Finally, a note on dungeons. During your main and world quests, you will need to go into many dungeons of various sizes before you can progress. These are not only worth doing because, yeah, you have to do them, but they're going to give you good loot, which makes you stronger, which makes you level faster. So I recommend you do these on hard with matchmaking every time, compared to soloing them on normal or something. You get much stronger gear than the normal version, which of course ultimately speeds up your leveling. I can't say for sure if hard or normal have different XP rewards, but I imagine there's more value in the hard compared to the normal, but that is an assumption. With all of that said then, you should now know the quest types and their purposes and have a game plan for launch. This worked for me perfectly in the beta, and I don't imagine they're going to change anything in release. If you were to do this all perfectly with no hiccups, not wasting your time at all, then it would take about 15 hours of raw playtime to do. But I hope this helped you in your journey, and remember, being a few days behind those no-life grinders doesn't really mean much. You're not going to be terribly behind, it's not a big deal, it's okay to take it at your own pace. But this is how you do it effectively, if that's what you want to do. So, in conclusion then, what do I think about this leveling of Lost Ark? I'm kind of mixed. While the questing itself is very generic and can be quite repetitive at times, I do think it was overall satisfying and enjoyable, because the combat is just so fun. Like, they lean so well into that, giving you constant solo boss fights to challenge you here or there. There's the massive amounts of mobs that you can destroy. The dungeons, I mean, some of the dungeons might be a bit miss here or there, but overall, they're pretty good. The scale of them, the fun of the fights. As I was reaching the later levels, like maybe even 45 plus, the dungeons were pretty scary. They had bosses or mini bosses that could one-shot you, making you really have to respect the mechanics on hard mode, which is really important. If it's like that in the end game and raiding, I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, while it doesn't do anything particularly unique in this leveling, I still think it does it pretty well, and overall I've enjoyed it. And it's so vital that the progression of your character feels relevant when you actually level, and they do achieve that. Because every 2 levels for a good while, you always get a new ability to try, and then every level itself you have skill points to put into current moves, which then adapts them multiple times. You could choose to make a move that wasn't a charge attack, now a charge attack for more damage, maybe give it a new element, make it wider reaching, or make it more effective on single target, depending on what you want. The fact that you can easily take points out of a skill and then put it into another for easy testing whenever you want, I think that's really smart. So the beta and leveling overall has been a good experience for me to actually finally play the game myself rather than just look at it. And it's not even over. Like, I have time to try PvP, to try endgame PvE, do the power grind, and try some other classes too. And hopefully I can make some useful videos for you from it. So I'm looking forward to that. If you have any tips for your fellow levelers, then drop it in the comments. But until next time, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.